Hey, what's up everybody? It's KyFy again. I'm glad you could be here. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. I have a special reading today, and it's going to be a doozy because, of course, you see the title, but what does this have to do with tarot in general? Now, of course, you know Zin-Finity. Zin-Finity is something I created, something I found, discovered, whichever way you want to see it. And I created a new way to read the tarot. So here we go with it. What I would like to do is go and start shuffling really quickly. I've already meditated on what the messages were. I have a few for you. It's quite a doozy. I hope you can bear with me on the method, because when I first started reading off of this board, I was just getting used to it. The knowledge was new to me. And then I realized a lot of things as I kept recording. So it took me a while to get a hang of it, but I think I got it now. And this is going to be the first new style of reading that I do. Hopefully it goes well. So here we go. So the first part of my reading is Viscera Vitalis. There are 3 parts. The first part is Viscera Vitalis. The second is a Pneuma effect. And the third is a star stream. So when the Viscera Vitalis, what we do here is get the gut health. When you hear that, you can understand that your body's gut health is very important to the digestive process when it comes to digesting things in your life. So I'm going to put a bunch of cards face down first just to get them out there and just leave it up to kind of chance. I'm going to shuffle a few times just on camera so you can see that I'm not cheating and all that stuff. But if you like this style of reading, I ask you to like, share, and subscribe to this video, to this channel. So basically, I have an app that's for the tarot community, and it's gonna be a good one because it's a whole new concept, and it's based on what you see here. So let's talk a little bit about what you see here. Naturally, you have the crown energy, right? When you think of chakras, let's go down the line, starting from the crown. There's the crown energy here. Then you have the third eye represented by this dark space, this light space, but I pushed it up here, for aesthetics. But it had a significance also. You have the dark here, the light here. Then after that, well, that's the third eye. From there you go to the throat chakra, which is ether, represented by the dodecahedron. Then you have the air, which is the heart chakra, and that's polarity, represented by the octahedron. Then you have fire, which is represented by the solar plexus, and that is a tetrahedron. Then you have water, which is the, going backwards, I could go forwards, it's better. Sacral chakra, and that's the icosahedron. Icosahedron. And lastly is the root chakra, which is the hexahedron or the cube, and it represents the earth energy. So going down that line, you see where the chakras are placed, but then you see also desire and will, where you understand that anything you desire, you use your body to will it into existence, using your mind and guided by what your spirit thinks you need, right? So, or you know how you and your spirit are connected, so that's self-explanatory. So using these elements, I've discovered that this is the whole perspective of the mind, and no thought can actually escape this. The only time you can actually view or determine what any of this black space is through growth and expansion. So we're gonna get down to it. So let me shuffle a little bit more and talk about the first part of the reading. Again, Viscera Vitalis. So, kinetic energy is energy which a body possesses by virtue of being in motion. That's what the definition of kinetic energy is. And I brought you here today to understand what the love of money is. Now, I have a view on it, and I would like you to take to listen to me real quick. Now, obviously, everybody has their views on love and money, but I want to introduce another concept, which is time. What is time? Now, when it comes up to time, I wrote a few things, and these are the messages. The message was about love and money and the time. Away from it, to it. This is, you're gonna start understanding where we're going here. So, there are some common phrases. I'm gonna just start. I'm gonna do it one more time. I'm gonna shuffle one more time. There are some common phrases with money that we all understand and know to a certain extent. But what does it really mean on this board, Zin-Finity? So, money is represented by the color green, and it made it easy. So let's just point to the green here. The green here is in the air and in the mind. So the chakra point, which has a frequency, is at the air chakra. Which is the heart, heart chakra, right? Then you have the mind, which encompasses the energy of the heart, and it fills that space, right? So this is the air. This is the air also. This is where the money is and located, where you get it from and how you use it, right? But most of the time in our lives, do we have access to it? How much does it elude us? Do we go after it, and then when you get it, does it give you what you want? Did it get you what you dreamed of? What was missing in this whole process? Many people who have been blessed with the situation to have an abundance of it, there's still probably something missing, and it has to do with the experiences of mainly the struggle. But for the people who are in the struggle, let me say that again. For the people who are in the struggle, right? Let's talk about them real quick. It's gonna resonate with both, but understand this. It's a different understanding when you understand that all of the pain in your life at one point or another could have been solved with extra money there. Extra money there. Let's just say something bad happened to you when you were coming home from anywhere. If you had money for a cab, would that bad thing have happened to you? Let's just say you were caught in a situation in some kind of bad housing. If you had money to move to a different place, before that event happened, would have happened to you. It would have left you in a situation. So money and pain go hand in hand also. So now we have the love of money and how money and pain are involved with each other. So keep that real quick. We're going to go into some of the messages. Time is money. So let me just start putting this face down real quick. Time is money. We all hear this all the time. And we never really understand. Well, I can only speak for myself. I never really understood the true meaning of what that meant. Oh, I must have skipped one on purpose. So let's do that. That was a divine mistake. Right. So, another famous money quote is more money, more power. But what is it about the power? What can you do with money, right? So, what is love? Money can't buy you love. In a relationship, we're looking for love. Love, I don't get enough of it. All I get is these vampires and bloodsuckers, right? What is it all about? What are we really after? And it come to find out that it's movement. Oh wow, see? I didn't even look at it. I was so in my mind. Like I said, divine mistakes. Now, there's a creation story that I want to put you onto that it was kind of a joke at first, but it really had some merit. So understand that it came to me as a joke. Haha, this is funny. And then you look at something like, oh, maybe, right? You do all of that, and then you come to like some kind of epiphany, right? So that's the epiphany I had. I had this a couple of months ago. That love and money and time, pain is all related. But there's no such thing as time. So does that mean there's no such thing as money? That's actually true, because money is an idea, a concept that we all accept and agree that this is what we're going to do to operate in this economy. It's an idea, but an idea around a currency. That's a current, and that's a current is basically, when you think of electric current, that's power. Power for what? So more money, more power, more currency. What does that mean? So with money in this economy, you move. That's what it is. Money is movement in this economy. And if you can't move, what are you actually doing? So why don't we have an abundance of this when we pray for it all the time? Why isn't it there for us? Well, this is when it gets tricky. So let's go down the line of the movement. How money is movement. And the love of money, movement, is the root to all evil. Now, this is heartbreak, and you're attached to it, right? So when it comes up to the crown energy, that is mentalism, empathy, unity, awareness, the rights to know and learn. Challenge is the attachment, like I just said, and the objective is to detach naturally. The identity is the universal. So your crown chakra is telling you that you are addicted to either pain, or you are nervous to go forward because there will be new pain, and the pain that you are currently in is manageable, right? So, but the thing is, there's waterfall behind this pain. And what does that mean? Water naturally, rejuvenates the land over time. The water brings a lot of good elements from the air. You know how, natural random fact about which forest is that? Which rainforest is that? Oh man, that forest that's in Brazil, I can't even remember it right now. But there is no fertile soil there. The reason why there are so much trees and so much life is because the wind carries a whole bunch of dead elements from an African, desert. A desert that used to be a lake, and blown, like all of the dead elements of a dried up lake are blowing across the Atlantic Ocean, right? And ending up in Brazil or wherever that place is. Oh man, that forest. I know one of y'all gonna say it. But that's besides the point. But that's what nourishes that land. It's not even the land itself. It comes from somewhere else. So look at this. When this rainfall comes down, it's coming from a long place. That means God set you up. So all you gotta do is be willing to get rid. That's harder to say. That's easier to said than done. So let's move on from there. This is your attachment. So moving on from the crown energy, this is the guts of the situation. What's here already? We're gonna go from light to dark. So we have the Six of Cups and the High Priestess on this side, right? So, I'm not gonna go straight into what the cards mean right now, but I'm just gonna read face value mostly. I do this for a reason, because in the next part of my reading is the Pneuma effect. And Pneuma has to do with potential energy, and you have to know the kinetics before the potential. So just understand that. On Zin-Finity Board, I realized that this is what you need and this is what you want. This is what you desire and this is what you will. But that can go many different routes. And the route that I was recently put onto, called it a download, was this is the energy coming towards you. So it reminds me of karma. But it's informational too. And this is the path that's lit for you, designed by God to get you to where you probably want or called to be, or came down to be here for. You know, the reason why you chose to be here. Now, a lot of people some people don't acknowledge that they could have chose to be here. Like your soul, oh, this is a great life to have. But in your current situation, it's not great. And it's not designed to. It's not designed to be perfect, because perfection is dead. You know, you keep hearing that, right? But we're here talking about money. Now, I mentioned pain. Pain is in the dark because it's not here, it's in the past. And I realized that death is the past. All of your memory is dead. And you activate it with your energy, your spirit, and things like that. And reactivate old information and relive it with your body. So your body doesn't even know the difference. So it's like, this is happening again. And you hold this pain, and it got so good. You got so good at holding the pain, it started to eat away at you. Now, the thing with air compared to your earth, right? Air and earth do not mix. But air can affect earth, and so can earth affect air. You know, like volcanoes, but the air can affect the earth. Just blowing on it, or over a period of time, it would deteriorate a mountain. Yeah, I said it right. So this is what I'm getting right now. You have your emotions and your desire in the right place. And the sixes, for me right now, is giving me everything you wished for is just the beginning, but it's coming towards you. But it requires you to live in the present moment. Why? Because I see this person smelling flowers. Like, oh, you know what? I have nothing else to do right now, or nothing else. I wanted to smell these flowers right now, and nothing else mattered. That's what I should say, right? So that's on the dark. What's your karma coming towards you? So you've been doing this to yourself for so long. You've been in pain for so long, thinking that this is all you can handle, right? But you don't even understand how God tests you. You think you at a 3, but you could be at a 14. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is how much you grow. You go through so much, and this 3 is getting replaced and replaced and replaced and replaced. You done had 30 swords in this position, just in and out these same places. You know what? I will. Okay, let's move on from there, because I got a lot. Coming to the space of the ether. This is your throat chakra, and throat chakra has to do with the vibration. How do you touch God? If God is an omnipresent being, how do you touch him? How do you interact with him? Now, we humans have our voice, and our voice causes vibrations. Now, any energetic action, I believe in quantum physics, quantum entanglement says that a vibration from this part of the galaxy will have an effect on this part of the galaxy, just given a period of time. Like, if you shine a light from over here strong enough to place this far in the galaxy, like stars do all the time, given enough time, that light will reach us, right? I forgot why I said that. But this is the vibration that I understood as going all the way, for some reason, to my mind, to the black hole and back. It's like, okay, the black hole is the most darkest thing I can I can think of. For some reason, this is God wanted me to talk about this. Why? Because it's an infinite. That's why. Because Da'at is known as the void. That's why. And in the void, you can get a whole bunch of answers. You can get a whole bunch of reasons. You can get a whole bunch of aspirations. And to understand this position, this is about your aspiration. And this is represented by the 3 of Pentacles. So you want to build. You want to be stable. You want to survive. That's on your mind when it comes up to this earth energy. This is getting what's on my head right now. So let's move on from there to the 4th, which is desire. There's water also, and this is allowed to be water because in these 2 spaces right here, this is how the board works. You'll get it soon. Air and water, but this triangle, the geometry speaks. as you can see in my previous videos, you'll understand this correctly. We'll be going to keep moving on. Air and water with this geometry right here allows this space to occupy air and water only. So when we get to the next part, which is the Pneuma effect, we deal with affinity. So anything that's out of place will show me what I need to talk about and divulge more onto. So you can get these, I call it codes, because the nature of this is bringing the Kundalini energy from the crown to Malkut back up to at least your heart. So it activates you to do something with your life. You know what I mean? Not with your life, that sounded rude. But if that triggers you, it should. Because you've been wanting to do something for a very long time. So why do you think money is stopping you? And this is what's funny about money. Let's keep going though, because I have to wait till the next part to go to further into the explanation of why money was so misused, why money is so quote unquote evil, what the nature of it is. Money is a currency, and the currency is basically something that a force rides on. Like, no, how should I don't know how to explain it other than that right now. Let's just move on. But in the place of your will, there is the sun. Now, probably the best card to be in this place. If not this place, then this place. And I'll explain why. Because this is the fire, solar plexus, and if the sun is there, beauty, that is just beautiful, right? But the things that will get you your money has to do with what you find beautiful. Has to do with what gives you that, like, this is making my day. You know how they say it's the shoes for me. That thing that you could say it's the lemonade for me, right? It's that fried chicken for me. Like, you know, it's the whatever that is, that thing that you laughed at. Yeah, oh yeah, okay. Yeah. It's around that thing. It's around that energy. That beautiful thing that you can do. Okay, here's what it was. The way to find how to generate the money out of thin air, it'll just come towards you. Why? Because we are sent here to love. That's God's energy. So why not spread that energy all on the world? Just love as much as you can. So my clue for you right now is, what is the most comfortable thing? What is the most comfortable thing that you can do that loves somebody so beautifully that don't even hurt you? Like me, I like to, I don't know, have random nice conversations with people. That just gives me life, right? I like just a whole bunch of other things, right? But here's where I am now. I'm basically talking to a whole bunch of people, millions of people in the future, you know, just like how I would do on the street. And hopefully, you know, YouTube, y'all get it. Like, share, subscribe, you know, send it to your favorite reader. This is going to be an app, so it's going to be for them. So I'm only here exposing it. So if you like this, imagine what it's going to do later. So, yeah, but this is what I decided to do to spread the most love that I can. This is easy for me. And I didn't even know it was easy for me. But I had to get to that part. Before, in my mind, right? In my mind, it was so hard. In my mind, here it was. I was pointing at other stuff. In my mind, it was so hard. But this is your essential nature. Your nature is to deal with the mental issues. That comes easy to you. But the thing is, what comes easy to you, you shouldn't have to deal with that all the time. You should be able to transcend it. Like, you should be able to this is what the energy is telling me. There is a way to create a pattern in your life that gets rid of your problems. And you are gifted at doing that. But when it comes to money, these money issues, it seems like it comes from a lot of people. A lot of people got their hand out. This is why you need to build Something to keep them out or to keep your stuff in. Build your home. Alright. So let's go on from there to 6, which is the Fool. Wow. Okay. When it comes into your spirit, like I just said, what comes to you the most comfortably? What do you do to give people the most love? What is that thing that you do so easily that you're known for, that people really fuck with you for? Like, what is that thing? Yo, I'll come to you. You're such good energy because of this. Ask your friends. Ask your people. They'll tell you. If I had to guess, it would be this. That's another clue. I can only give you a general clue because there's potentially so many people here, but I'm called to say certain things, right? So, what is that comfortable thing that your spirit says, oh, this is me, this is for me, this is for me? You get to that place, you do that thing, you're like, oh, this is for me. I could just go to sleep and my day is complete, right? That's the thing. That's the kind of energy I want you to think of. What is it? So, moving on to the Page of Swords in your mind. When I looked at this, I saw amateur. But amateurs sometimes, you know how Rookie of the Year, that's an amateur. He just started, but he trained very hard. You have been taking this pain for very long. Don't think that you haven't been learning things for even longer. You know how time doesn't exist. You dream and go places and learn things too. You learn everywhere. We are here to learn, right? And experience and to spread love. But even though this amateur state of doing things, people looking down at you, people looking down on you, right? But it's still cutting them. It's still clearing them out your way. So they can only talk to a brick wall if you just put it up. You know, that's the boundary you can put up. Don't allow those thoughts to consume you. You can consume those thoughts. And what do I mean by that? If I say something to you right now, what I just said is dead. You have to remember it and keep it alive. If you choose not to remember it, what I just told you is dead. So, anybody who's cursing at you, tearing you down to the fullest, down to the deepest of your soul, you want to just cry and go into a ball, understand that everything they just said, it took them time to get here. And in between that time, that vibration, you have enough time to say, I won't let this hurt me at all. This is nothing. I deal with this on a daily. I've been through this. So, oh yeah, I don't need to deal with these minor issues no more. This level of issues, I will never have a problem with anymore. Why? Because I learned that there's some information in my past. Keep up. There's some information in my past that I'm activating constantly that's telling me, oh, this money would have been good in this situation. Oh, this money would have been good in this situation. Oh, if I had money. See, the problem, if you had money, you are a limitless being. And what does that mean? Anything you do, you can get a limitless effect out of it. Now, what happens if it's filled with love? Don't you think God is going to acknowledge that? This is why I say find the most comfortable things that you can do to spread love and potentially make money off of. Now, I'm not saying try to cheat the system, right? You're going to go through the works. You're going to be trained in this, but you've already been trained in this. This is something that you came down with, the gifts that you came down with. Speaking of gifts, we're going to go to these 3 places, and that's going to tell us our gifts. Moving on from there, we have the body. Now, I'm sensing a lot of, well, I'm not even sensing. This is an emotional journey. But what is emotion energy? I said it already. I said, what is emotion energy? It's energy for what? When you decide to let the emotion consume you, think of this circle as you, the I am. I am hurt. I am anything, right? The infinite of I am, right? Anything. If you are hurt by these feelings, you're blocking these feelings from getting here, which is your desire. This energy is being contained in this bubble. And you know how when you get anxious, right? You have to desire. You have to find out what you desire and get that energy out. If you can't sleep, you up all night. You have a desire in your mind that's knocking at your door so hard that you have to just sit there and say, what is it? What is that thing that's calling me right now? What is it's like, you know how that game, let's just say you close your eyes, you have to walk in the room, and the only clue you get to find this thing that you have to find is somebody saying, cold, right? That's the game that's like that right there is one of the things that God said that he does with us. Like one of the ways that he can communicate. It's like he controls the energy. She, it, whichever way you view God, right? God controls the energy. Why do you think you came here? You anxious to do it. You are ready. Prime. Potential energy. Kinetic energy. Potential energy. Like, we're about to get to the potential. It's going to show itself. I got to move on because I was here too long last time and I messed up. So, let's get to it. Okay. So, 9. Justice. Justice is an air card. Alright. So, remember how I told you that your essential nature is to take this pain to not consume the pain, to let the pain consume you and you be okay? That's your nature. To nature is to deal with it. That's what I said. Your nature is to deal with it. You've been dealing with it for so long. Don't you think that's the potential for something that's coming towards you? God stores that energy and be like, 1, 2, no, this is worth 30, this is worth 100 points, this is worth 1,500 points because that was some bullshit. I remember this. Watch when it's time for me to cash out on you. Remember, you're gonna start remembering all the things right now. Watch when it's time for me to cash out on you. Just give me a way. This is God speaking. Just give me a way for me to spread most of my energy, all of my energy on the world. All of my, in any situation, give the most love. Give me a way to do it. And you'll see how it returns to you because the vibration hits that black hole or it hits the veil and comes back. What's at the end of the veil? Da'at. Data. At the end of all quantum anything science is just data. And data needs energy and a force, right? So at the end of it is just all data. But I forgot where I was going there. But this justice card is really getting me. Okay. You have Earth. Call this the land right now. This is the horizon, right? Call that the horizon. And you have Earth in your sky. So you naturally are thinking of things that are like, you know what an asteroid does to a planet. But let's just say it is not that destructive. What does it actually do? I told you that it was building. And what does the building do? Clear everything just like a meteor would in your life. Just imagine a meteor coming straight towards you and destroying everything else around you but the meteor. There was a commercial just like that. I seen it. The guy, it was a meteor or something. He was at his front house. He ran inside. It blew up. And then he walked outside and everything else was destroyed. And not his crib. So it's just like, that popped up in my mind right now. That's the energy that's coming towards you. So that's very destructive to other people that should not be in your life anyway. But this is tricky. I'm not going to call those people information. I'm going to also say that they are lessons. Now, everybody has beauty. You were gifted, like I keep saying, to deal with people's karma. So what you can do for money probably gets rid of people's karma. People who have been put into such a low situation and just say, you know what, if I had something right now that can help me, you probably gifted at knowing what that thing is. That might be not for everybody, but as it resonates, you know, put a comment in the comment section below. Of course, you know, let's see what it is. Let's speak to the community. Show them, express to them how you feel, you know. That's one way you can spread love, because your experiences. Here, one of my friends, best advice, not even advice, one of my favorite quotes out of her mouth: living vicariously through another person. Vicariously is like, I can live somebody's lessons and not actually go through the thing. So this is why it's important to listen more than you speak. That resonated with somebody. If somebody's not listening to you, they cannot take any of your experiences. You are a summation of your experiences. That means that if they don't like your experiences, they don't like you. You're basically a supercomputer filled with food that operates in a certain way and can eat food, right? Let's just not go there. That's too far. But you see where I'm going with this. I gotta move on. The Hermit. The Hermit is an earth guard. Now, a waterfall, if it had a earthly blockage, do you think that water is falling fast? Do you think that stream is flowing as properly as it should? And where is that extra water going? Is it flooding your land that that you use to farm to you know where I'm going with that? What is it doing? So you on this journey, but okay, I get it. I'll wait. Let's go to Earth really quickly. Now, here is where your actions, not to say that it has been misguided, but it's been very emotional actions, backed by your beautiful mind. Emotional actions backed by your beautiful mind. So you have reached your limit with the emotions you can carry. It's time to cash out. But the only way that God can cash out is if you move, right? So we understand that love is movement. Why? I also said money was movement. If you get a windfall of money, if another stimulus check came, wouldn't you think that God blessed you? He blessed all of us, right? But that's the way the enemy works at the first place. So that's a whole different discussion. But it kind of works the same way in your life. Now, God can organize some way to get you anything you need. But if you do not know how to control that money, will it hurt you? There you go. So now God can't give you the money because you're going to hurt yourself. God wants to give you the money. I mentioned the death card, right? Or death in general being information. The past being death, right? Da'at, the Sephiro in general. Knowledge in the void. Pluto, Scorpio, right? That's Scorpio energy right now that's coming in. But this is a touchy subject because nobody likes to talk about death. But what would make you okay with it? What is the thing that you can do on this earth that will make you okay with it? So you have a dream, right? And you are willing to do anything for that dream. Should you see it? Should you remember what it is? Right? You came down here with that dream. You still know what it is. If you was to fulfill everything on your bucket list, there's nothing else for you to do. You'd just be waiting. The most boss thing I've ever heard in my life came from my junior high school gym teacher. I saw her on the corner, coming from the supermarket, going back to her crib. And, you know, I said hi. You know, I never had no problem with her. She was a good person. Said hi. We was talking. I said random same question like anybody say, how you doing? And then she said, what have I been up to? And then I said, how about you? She said, just waiting. She's an older lady, right? When she said just waiting, like, you know, I'm probably gonna throw it, but my mind just, because I couldn't understand what I said. I couldn't understand what she said. It blew everything that I thought about death at that moment changed just that quick. Because I said, how can a person who, not technically, right, who has been living that life and is close towards that age, have that much confidence going into something like that? I could not even understand it. She said, just waiting. But it took me years to understand. I don't even know how many years ago that was. At least 7, right? I just randomly threw that in the bio. She must have did everything out of love and don't even know where to throw it no more. Don't even know where to throw it no more. She been showing love her whole life and can't even find another place to put it. Complete. That's how I felt. When she said that to me, I felt complete, and I was like, I gotta get there. That's I would just go on from there. Would you believe or would you agree that money has a consciousness? Or is it us as people who create the consciousness for money and we try to use it? So, sad to say that in this world, in this economy, but we all agreed to this before we came here. That's in my opinion. You saw that in this world, the biggest power in this world is money. But God is the true power. So when you condense, when you try to reduce God's power to the form of money, so many things happen in this world. People just invent things out of nowhere because money can't constrain us anyway, because it's not truly what God offers. God offers blessings through anything that I could talk about that all day. How many times were you in a pinch and then out of nowhere you weren't and you were feeling good? How many times? So you can understand how it goes from dark to light, to dark to light, to dark to light, right? It's a balance. And it's if it wasn't this way, you would perfect everything in your life and there would be nothing for you to do past 10 years. That makes no sense, right? But this is how me and God speak to each other. So here you go. So in this next part of the reading, I'm going to introduce you to the Pneuma effect. I mentioned it before, that is potential energy, right? So you have what's here. Now, what can you focus on? That's what the potential is. The potential is the focus, because if you focus on anything long enough, something will come out of it, right? So here we go with the focuses. What do you focus on? I mentioned affinity. So obviously you have earth, water, fire, air, right? And then you have these nodes here. Now, I just want to point out something right here. These nodes are representative of the Tree of Life's Sephiroth. And so is all the domains on the board. So the soul is represented by emanation, right? Creation is represented by this part here, which is the spirit. Just call it this section of the circle, this third of it, right? When it comes up to the world of formation, Yatsira, it has to do with this side, which is the mind, right? And Asiya, which is this bottom portion right here, representative of the body. Naturally, then you have, I'm going to just call it out right here, Malkut at the bottom, your side here. Holding the sac is the solar plexus over here. Then you have Tiferet, which is the heart chakra, right? Then you have, here's when it got confusing to create, but in my previous videos, y'all understand. Chesed is here. Gebura is here. Bina is here, or if you want to see it in this circle right here of the yin yang, Bina right here. Then Hokmah is right here, representative of the light part of this inner circle. Now, that is the tree of life, as well as the philosopher's stone, aka Zin-Finity herself. But that's Zin-Finity in a nutshell, but there's so much more to it. And this is why it needs a whole app. I can't possibly have a conversation and you understand everything that I want to show you. So, for now, you'll get it in 3 parts. And let's continue with the second one. Potential energy is energy possessed by a body by virtue of its position relative to others, the stress within itself, or the electrical charge and other factors, right? Now, I mentioned energy. Energy comes in the form of magnetism and electricity, right? The light being the masculine, being electricity, and the magnetism being the divine feminine. I hope I said it right. Masculine, divine feminine. Okay. Yeah. So that produces a current, charge, whatever you want to see it as, and it comes as kinetic energy. Now we already see where that energy lined up, right? Now, when it comes to potential, what you focus on, we have to fix the affinity. And we go, now I can actually go into the next part. So, in the place of the crown, this is supposed to be fire. Why? Because it represents soul energy, emanation energy. You cannot emanate with nothing to generate, right? Or nothing to fuel it. You have a mental process that's getting rid of some emotions, but that's not fueling your soul. That's clearing the blockage. So yes, it's a process. You're almost finished with it. Or you're so good at it, all you got is 3 things left. Like, that's how I feel with it. So we have to draw on this part. I'm gonna shuffle one more time to see, not to see, but to land on fire. Now here's where it gets a little bit like goldfish, right? This one jumped out. So this is the 9 of Pentacles. It's not fire. But understand that it could have been anything. How many times am I going to have to draw in this place before fire comes out? So you understand that this is where you should focus. Your essential nature. Your nature to do things. Things that happen that are a part of your character that eventually destroy you, that you never even seen. Addictions come into play because that's what it is about. Attachments, right? The crown energy is about attachments. Objective is attachment. The objective is detaching, right? Flushing it out your system. And it's saying that you need this. But I'm not going to talk about it yet. I'm going to keep going. Alright. I'm not going to put it down. But it's a Chariot and a Death card. I'm looking for one card. A war with yourself, with past events. Remember I just said the Death card? The Death is your past events, and you reactivating the information that's dead and reliving it. So if you can acknowledge deep within your soul that it's not happening again, if you can find out what's really bothering you, if you can acknowledge that it's not happening, and you are smart enough now for that never to happen again, regardless if you didn't have any money, you would know what to do. Then you don't have to fear it, because that's just your mind playing tricks on you. Or here's where the planning comes into play, right? You can plan like you are your nature, right? Is to deal with it in the first place. What happens if you don't need to deal with it? That you can only grow, right? So let me just get this card out. The Empress, another Earth card. Slow process. To change your character takes a while, because at first you have thoughts thoughts that become words, words that become actions, actions that become habits, habits that become part of your character. So it's 5 levels to get to character, right? I think I did that right. And if it's another level after that, just like forget it. Forget it. They just forget it. Forget it, right? Forget it. That's that person, and it's not moving. No character, no money is gonna change that thing about that person. Stubborn. Look at her. She like, I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna get it. I don't care. I'm not even trying to pluck right now. Too many. Fire is showing itself. Alright. How about... Okay. That's crazy. Okay. So, I finally got a fire card on the crown space, and I realized something. Got a lot of work. But that's okay. You're used to it. You're used to working so hard to push. You work so hard to be yourself, regardless of anything. To work to get to what you want, regardless of anything. That it's only going to take a matter of time. But when you realize, when you learn yourself, that's what it is. When you start learning yourself more, things become easier for you to do, and you don't deal with the same problems. So, let's get to this. Let me put it this way. So, starting with the 3 of Swords in your attachment, you have removal, absence, delay, division, rupture, dispersion, and all that the design signifies naturally. Like I said, you work hard to eliminate the thoughts of other people, other people's ambitions, other people's reasons out of your mind. You work so hard for it. You do that all the time. You try to stay true to yourself all the time. And it works. It's going to start working. Why? Let's get to the next one. It is the 9 of Pentacles. Prudence, safety, success, accomplishment, certitude, discernment. Why? Why did you stay true to yourself? Because you knew that you would achieve success. Somehow, some way. You believe in yourself. And that's so key. Because not many people believe in themselves. They believe in anything everybody else tells them. And you're good at getting rid of what everybody else tells you. So it's like it naturally flushes out. Just give it a little bit of time. It rains down it rains down, and you catch them. You catch it. Wow. You know how you set out buckets for the rain? Now, I hope y'all understand that. That's so much. This 3 of Swords that's here has clouds behind it. And this guy has been collecting the water at the body, waiting to put it to good use. So it's just like, okay, you're starting to recognize some of the pain you've been through, and you're like, you getting charged up, but charged up off of transcending the pain. So now that you're over it, you have more energy for something else. And this is why you're becoming more anxious. More anxious. As you clear yourself, you become more anxious, and eventually that thing is going to show itself because it has no choice. We're here for money, but I'm talking about a lot of other stuff too. Going from the 9 of Pentacles to the Empress. You're the one that was like, I'm going to get it. And that's that, right? The Empress. Fruitfulness, action, initiative, length of days, the unknown, clandestine, also difficulty, doubt, ignorance, right? So here's it just making sense. You are ignorant to anybody else's thoughts, regardless if it has so much merit. You like, you know what? I trust myself. I'm going to choose to trust myself because I've been trusting other people. And look where it got me in my emotions. I had to just block it up and go somewhere else. This guy is obviously in a tunnel with no water. How long he been in that cave? You know what I mean? So you become ignorant to the things that you should be ignorant to. Like, I don't even see this. You're speaking to me negatively, I don't even see it. I'm not gonna let it affect me. Throw it somewhere else. This is how you eat the energy. You can eat the energy and it processes. When it consumes you, it goes into your soul and you can't use it, right? When you eat the energy, it processes. I should say, when you eat the energy, it processes over to desire so you can use it on your body, right? You use, for the app. Like, share, and subscribe to the video, to my channel. When I get the exposure I need, I'm sure more elements of the app will expose itself. I have so many things I created, and I'm just waiting for that right angel investor to say, you know what, I need this now. And we're going to get to that, trust me. But moving on from the Empress, you have I forgot about this guy. The Four of Cups. Look at this guy standing here. Ignorance. Like, nope, I'm going to get it. I don't care. I'm sitting here. I'm going to trust myself. I don't care. I'm not even going to take that extra cup. Looking at it. But this one is from God. It's safe now. It's safe now. You good. You good. You good. You good. There's some opportunity that actually feels right. And it's comfortable. Think about it. It's comfortable for you and it feels right. But you don't trust it because why should you, right? Why should you? Why should you? 100%. Yeah. Four of Cups. Weariness, disgust, aversion, imaginary vexations, as if the wine of this world had caused satiety only. As if the wine of this world has caused satiety. Right. Only. Another cup of wine has, as if a fairy gift is now offered him, but he sees no consolation thereof. It's also a card of blended pleasure. So it's just like, yeah, you have these three yeah. That's where it is right there. He got 3 cups here. 3 sources of heartbreak. You see the rain. Caught the 3 right here. But looking at the next one, thinking it's going to lead you to heartbreak again. But it was actually rain from, energy from God. And this is going to get you on your way. So let's find out what it means by you being detached from whatever it is and being on your way. So this guy's on a horse. He's not going slow. So what does that mean? This stagnant energy is about to be blown out to smithereens. Remember that meteor that's over here? I can't even get past the nature. So, meanings: departure, absence, flight, immigration, a dark young man, friendly, change of residence. Now, the dark young man, right? This is the dark, right? So you're leaning towards your desire. A dark young man. Don't think of it as a skin complexion. It's not about that. When you see colors, you see these directions, and that's the beauty of this board. Red, right? I'm not even gonna go there. Because it's too much. Change of resonance. So, resonance in the mind. New perspective. But it's by your will. So, you chose to take up whatever it was that you found and use it. That one thing that can never, the one tested thing that, I don't know how should I say this, the one time tested thing that you've been doing that has been benefiting you that you never even saw. Right there, you be like, God, I've been looking, while it's giving you abundance day and day, every day. It seems like every day is giving you this abundance. Every day is giving you this sense of justice, the thing. Let me move on from there, because we still at the nature. I guess we need to talk about it. You are naturally prone to take the pain, but the thing is, the pain is only there for you to learn from it. So you're naturally stubborn to your lessons. This is why God has to do so much. So if it seems like you're in a bad situation, just understand that God didn't want to do that, but you needed it because you have been asking Him to do something in your life. In order for you to get there, you need to do things. God is basically an omnipresent moving energy, right? Can move things, but if He moves you into the wrong direction, you hurt yourself. So, as I said, let's keep going. Now that we got the crown covered, we can go to the third eye. Now, in the space of the dark, it's perfectly fine to have air and water here. Why? Because it has the same effect as this. It's almost like the desire in the dark is the same on the tree of life, so it makes the same sense, right? So we don't have to do anything here. But when it comes into your dark energy, think of it as the energy coming towards you is the Six of Cups. A card of memories and of the past. For example, reflecting on childhood happiness and enjoyment, but coming rather from the past, things that have vanished. Another reading versus this suggesting new relations, new environment, and new knowledge. As I said before, this information in your past that's actually dead that you acted. I'm going to keep saying this over and over and over so you understand what's hurting you. Is by your choice. At the end of the day, you have to understand that you're choosing to think and bring up these memories every day. You're choosing to think that the same things are going to happen. You're choosing to think like insane ways, insanity, doing the same thing over, expecting a different result, right? You're choosing to think you're choosing to act that way when you don't need to. It only holds you back. So do different things. I guess that's what I need to say. Yeah. Scratch my head. Alright. So yeah. This has to do with your illusion. So that's the one thing that I forgot. Illusions of how the money in your past could have helped you, when essentially you were only sent here to learn from it. It wasn't supposed to hold you back. You knew this was going to happen before you came here, right? It was supposed to teach you something. So if you decide to learn the lesson from it, then that protects you in this at the same way. Because how could you? It's not possible for you to be hurt by the same thing when you learn the lesson from it. It's just like, okay, this is about to happen. I'm gonna talk this out, or I'm gonna just leave this alone. It's not for me. I already know what happens after this. Like, you see, you don't waste your time. Yeah. So the illusion behind this is a special tricky one. You should think about it. When it comes up to the light, the energy, the path that God has aligned for you is a balanced one. So you have to, let me see, secrets, mystery. Oh, there you go. You have to keep what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be doing to yourself. Why? Because people have a effect to trigger these past events that are data, not even alive anymore. It happened already. You've been through it. It's done, right? But they drudge up these emotions, right? They bring it out of nowhere, and it's just a waste of energy, right? But it's only because you haven't dealt with it, and the reason that it affects you. I should say it this way. This person is designed specially to attack you in a way to make you grow in the easiest way. Because for some reason, I don't get that anybody's in actual danger, that anybody's in actual harm. I don't know why I say that. Actual harm. Like, it's only in your mind. That's crazy to say because there's so many situations. To really think that it's only in your mind, it might not be for everybody. But how something could turn out is in your mind, because God knows the way it's going to turn out. And you can think of a million ways that it can go wrong. You have a beautiful mind. Right? So, the future as yet unrevealed. The woman who has interest in the querent. Right? So, the divine feminine presence. Let me just say, the divine feminine presence that has an interest in you, which is right here. So understand that. I hope you understand that. The querent is you. I looked it up, and I finally looked out. Okay, I finally looked up that word, the querent, and it just means the person being read for, right? So it says, if male, the querent herself or himself, your divine desire, right? If female, is silence, so it's more like tenacity, mystery, wisdom, and all the information. So the information is coming towards you. It's like perfect. Woo, piece of candy. Woo, piece of candy. Woo, piece of candy. Woo, piece of candy. That's how it's gonna be. God's gonna just be lining up candy. You can be like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. That's how it's gonna feel. And you're just gonna be following, and God is gonna be like, okay, motherfucker. Okay, finally, you started to go this way. It took you forever to be throwing you. The candy was right here. All you had to do was move. You feel me? You know, I don't know how God speaks, but how's it taste, motherfucker? Deep blue sea. Let's move on. That sums up the third eye and the illusions that are around you. So it's gonna be the thing. It's not gonna be an illusion. When you understand this from God, it's gonna feel good doing. It's gonna feel good. The justice from it. It's gonna feel good, right? I'm gonna get to that justice card, but it's just showing me stuff right now. So moving on from there, you go to the ether, place of the ether, which is the Three of Pentacles, and it has to do with your aspirations. Now, ether is the law of vibration, the sense of touch, the psychological function of communication. So, understand. I hope you understand how you reach God and speak to God and spread God's love, His energy, right, all over, and it multiplies itself because love is infinitesimally abundant. I just had to say that. Remember how I said money is green and love is green too. The heart chakra is green. So you see what money plays a role and how God's love, His movement in your life has been halted. And the only way you can get it in this economy today, the reason why it's so hard to live today, is because you either get it by submitting yourself to any one of the contracts you can think of, or doing it yourself, which requires more strength and more tenacity, more courage, right? But it brings you the sense of justice that you came here to get. It brings you a sense of peace, like, oh, this is what I came here to do. I can live out my life like this, right? But that's the only way. That's the only two things: submit or be free. And it's hard to be free because there's so many things that the world has placed on us. Just the economy in general, the saying that you can't do it yourself, you have to rely on everything. When 2,000 years ago, a lot of people used to do everything for themselves. See how we go ahead and get advanced, right? We're advanced now. Moving on to the Three of Pentacles. It has to do with your aspiration. I mentioned that it's a meteor. It's like something that's dropping into your life, almost like a text. A very strong text. Like one that pumps your heart before you even read it. You be seeing it on the top of your screen. Oh, it wasn't even anything. It was like Snapchat. Some random text that didn't mean anything. It was an advertisement, but your heart beating. That kind of feeling. So, your aspiration. Métier, trade, skill, the labor, usually, however, regarded as a card of nobility, aristocracy. I always say that word wrong. I can't do it. Renown and glory, right? So you are after that thing that's gonna shock the world. That's what you're after. But rightfully so. What is that thing that you can do that's gonna turn your world upside down, mainly, right? But what if it is the world? What if it's an idea strong enough that can impact the world that hard? Deliberate on it. Master it as much as you can. There's no such thing as perfection. But there is a plan, though, right? You can keep planning along the failures. You don't need to be perfect in the beginning to start what your dream entails. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be the finished product before you start. Why would it be the finished product? You would get there. It's like somebody giving you $1 million or you earning $1 million. You can go ahead and earn another $1 million. You can't go ahead and ask that person for another $1 million. You feel me? There's a value to that. But that's what you're looking for. You're looking to be economically safe. You don't have to be too much. Safety for you is enough. But if you can actually get that thing going, I said safety for you is enough, but we here for money. So if it's something that you're doing for your life currently, that if you master, you can do for other people, that might be the divine clue. Because it's something comfortable for you to do that you can understand, and you can tell somebody this is comfortable. No, it's easy. Or you can show them you can make money off of it. Let's not get too much into it, because we're not after the money. We're after the movement. We're after the love. And this is where it gets tricky. The love of money. When it comes up to relationships, right? Economies run spiritually too. So if you're giving and giving and getting nothing back, that's a bad deal. It just is. What is the benefit, right? Think of your emotional economy as much as the one you live outside of your mind, right? But regardless, both needs a little bit of stability. So moving on from there, now we get to the point of desire. Desire has basically is using the spiritual energy with your soul to create something that you're going to use to manifest what you want to do in your life. And the reason why I went this way, I'm going to talk about it later, because at the tree of life, you know that zigzag, right? There's a zigzag here, and it's beautiful. The 3 of Cups in your desire. There's a lot of 3s here. There's 2 3s in here. The 3 here. If you've been seeing 333, then most likely this reading is for you. Alright. So, this space. Oh, wow. I have to back up. This is not supposed to be Earth. So I was saying all of this about this subject, but it needed to be another card. So let's just do this. It needed to be fire or air, but it's Earth right now. So you understand that it needs to be cleared out. Your dreams, your aspirations need to be unblocked by some kind of formation, some kind of plan you have. And when you activate that plan, well, what happened is this. A whole bunch of lies from everybody around you. Yeah, do this. Yeah, do this. Because they can milk it off you. Remember that spiritual economy and the economy outside? Both. People can milk off of both of those. We need You understood that. I don't need to go any further. We need energy in order to live. Sometimes people lack certain energies in their life, and they are willing to manipulate to get it. It comes in the form of love, movement, right? See, I want people to understand what love truly is, because there's love, the divine love in your life, the way God just handles everything around you. That's the love that we're most familiar with, but it's movement, because other people are doing things that aligns you into these things, right? You just being put in that place. But when it comes up to love that you can show God too, that's when it becomes true. You guys are in co-creation. That's what it happens. Co-created love. You and God working together to bring love into this world. And it just creates rainbows and butterflies, right? Why would the devil want you to do that? So, when you find out what you can do, there'll be a whole bunch of, I would say, limelight issues to deal with. All the things that you could have gotten in your past will come up in your mind right now. Well, after you figure out what it is you want to do for yourself. And you can either go towards those things and waste time, or figure out the lessons and move on. You only got one life. What you want to do with it? Alright. So the 10 of Swords. I don't even really have to look at the 7 of Cups. I kind of know what it was going to tell me. So, 7 of Cups. Fairy favors images of reflection, imagination, sentiment, things seen in a glass of contemplation. So, people obviously going after your gifts, because they do bring fruit to this life. They do bring love to this world, and they're eating that love. They're eating it for themselves, and they're benefiting off of it for themselves, and not quite giving anything to you because they can't right now. They just can't. But God aligned you to be in that position, because when you learn the lesson, don't you think they live vicariously through your actions because you did it to them? They learn too. So as you learn, other people learn. You don't do the same thing, so how could you get the same effects? They can't play you anymore. It's like playing the game of checkers and you not knowing it. But the second game, I'm going to take some of your pieces. You feel me? The third game is going to be a challenge, because this is my life, right? Fourth game, king me. Fifth game, you going to be here or not? And this is how you get good at protecting yourself, these boundaries. So, they played a lot of games, and it seems like they won. But these are games that you play with yourself, and emotions that you've been thinking about past events yourself. Like, oh, this is going to happen again, so they win. They win this time, because I'm scared of that thing happening again in my life, so they win this time, right? Now, that happened at the scale of 10, so it happened a lot. And you're about done with it. I'm done. This is why you're looking to build something stable, something that comes from you, that will replace these swords with something stable, something these swords can just lay on, right? Something these swords you need a lot of force to get through, and that air is going to take a long time, right? That's just mental things. So, 10 of Swords, whatsoever is intimated by the design, also pain, affliction, tears, sadness, and desolation. So, you can understand where that's coming from. It's painful, but like I said, pain is data. And data can be ingested and used towards your desire, because you have the energy. The energy needs a form to operate. And the data brings that form and the potential, but you still have to do it. So we're gonna get to the next one, which is mechanical, but we're not there yet. So now that the aspirations is out of the way, Aspirations have to do with lies, right? Deception, I already spoke about it. Communication, honesty, being honest with other people and honest with yourself relieves some of this energy that you have built up inside of you. Because if you're honest with yourself, you can know what you want to do. I honestly want to go camping. I honestly want to go live somewhere else. If you honestly want to do it, a plan is just going to come out of nowhere. Or you already been planning it. You know what to do. So if you honestly want to do it, you'll move. And that's the power of God. You pray, oh God, help me to move on this. But it requires you to actually want to do it and do it. And once you decide to do it, I learned this today, KRS-One. Once you decide to do it, God will be right with you. Once you decide to do it. But all that other stuff, He's going to be looking at you like, okay, I'll wait. And who do you think is more patient? Who got more time? You had millions of lives. How many times you think you've been here doing the same thing? Why you think you so frustrated? I'm doing this shit again. This has happened to me again. Your ancestors lived through you, right? You have epigenetic memory. You basically are living with the memories of your ancestors inside of you down 15 generations plus. So that affects you too, because I'ma just say time doesn't exist and just leave that alone. See the throat chakra, whatever. Yeah, so going back to desire, finally, we have the Three of Cups. The conclusion of any matter. You desire to finish this because you done been through it all. It's painful. Yeah, you got to the point where it's okay, this is painful. God, this is painful. Haha. Yeah, this is painful. But it's not really hurting you. It's like, this is supposed to be painful. And that's perfect. Because now it's data. You're numb to the pain, which can affect you negatively. You know, stagnation, not wanting to do anything. But since you're numb to the pain, once you decide to do something, that pain can't affect you no more. So all you need to do is get past that hump. All you need to do is to realize that the pain is protection. The pain becomes a part of you. The pain becomes data that can no longer affect you should you let it. Right? This is going to make sense. I hope this is making sense. The conclusion of any matter. Plenty. Perfection. I said perfection is dead. Remember that. But you perfect these dead past events. Right? Here's how the board is starting to make sense. Merriment, happiness, victory, fulfillment, solace, and healing. This is naturally what you desire after you've been through all of this pain. So it's not much to... But how do you get there? This is the 3 right here. And this is the 3 of Pentacles. The 3 of Swords. And I did see it. And the 3 of Cups. All the 3s are out. Yeah. All the 3s are out. That's crazy. Wait, am I bugging? Oh no, it's because I saw that other one. Oh no, it's only 3 of the 3s out. The one that's missing is the 3 of Wands. So let's see if we'll see that come out. So the Sun in the place of your will is a fire card. Now this space, we're basically shifting gears now because we've been on the dark side of things. Now here's where we come to the light side of things, right? When it comes more to your actions and what you've been doing, what you can do. I mentioned being comfortable before because there's so much light. How could you not be? But that's the clue. What brings you light? Light, love and light. Love, light, time, money. You're gonna add on to these names of what love is. And you'll understand where the power and control is in this world. and then you'll understand a lot of the deceptions that have been controlling you, whether it's in your dreams, your fantasies, your past events, anywhere. But only to come to find out that the things that keep you comfortable are divinely for you, and it will keep you protected. So yeah, going to the sun, you have material happiness, fortunate, marriage, and contentment. So that's good, because it's not like you desire to be over another person, right? You desire to be good. You desire to be good for yourself. You know what? And if I have some extra, I'll spread it. I'll spread the love. Alright. So I don't need to do anything with this card, and that's beautiful. Which means that here, these two places so far need some focus. When it comes to your aspirations, what you're looking to do, and the reasons why you do it, and your essential nature. Those two things are coming into question. Oh man, did I do the High Priestess? Wow. I realized that I didn't even do the High Priestess. I guess it's in time. I was talking about it so much. Okay, 2 cards came out. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna look at it. The Wheel of Fortune is a fire card, and that's perfect in this position. So the Wheel of Fortune in the High Priestess. So remember how I was talking about, ooh, piece of candy, ooh, piece of candy. It's the same thing. The Wheel of Fortune is on that story. So what does that mean? And that completes this run. So destiny, fortitude, success, elevation, luck, and felicity. The luck, oh, it's gonna make people jealous. Oh man, when somebody is lucky right next to you, even if it's your best friend, there's a part of you that says, it should have been me. Why? Because it's natural. You want to feel that love. Why not? Is it bad to feel that love? Is it bad to want to feel it? But it's better to earn it though. So how can you earn it? And that gives you, that triggers you, because you know you felt that way. But it triggers you to want to earn it. Should that be what you want to do, you know? Yeah. But destiny. These pieces of candy that God is just going to be lining up for you. It's like destined. Like, oh, everything is an epiphany. Everything is just beautiful. Yeah. And it's not like the guy was looking up when he was looking at the candy. It was just the next one, okay. The next one, okay. Everything could have been happening. Traffic, people, anything. Right? I think at the end of that, it was a trap. So, that's probably why it's significant now. Enemy is trying to lead you into a very fortunate trap because they don't like where you're going. Why would the enemy want all of this love here? Why would the enemy want you to understand that it was only your mind anyway that was playing tricks on you? So going back to the order, sun. After the sun is the spirit and then the mind. So the Fool is an air card. The Fool is an air card and is in the place of the spirit, which is water, right? And the Page of Swords is in the mind, which is in the place, which is, the Page of Swords is air, which is in the place in the mind, and that's okay. So when it comes into your mind, you're doing the right thing, even though it seems a little bit amateurish. It's okay, because it's a big ass sword you singing, and whatever enemy that's in your way, all you gotta do is tap A. Like, you know what I mean? God is just lining you up. Anytime you know you play a game and it's really like you're overpowered, you just press one button and so many things are destroyed. That's what you have right now, and it's all of your power. You're just swinging it. You just right? But it's a lot of energy, and you need to find out how to use it. because you can get tired. There's certain things called burnout, and this person is not a knight yet, so it doesn't have to use the sword professionally, right? You can get that. Not you can get it, but you can understand where I'm going with it. But when it comes to the fool in this place, why is the fool not supposed to be here? So let's look at the fool. Folly, mania, extravagance, intoxication, delirium, frenzy, and bewilderment. Right. So I see intoxication, and that comes in the form of your essential nature. Your nature was to deal with the problems internally. So of course you're intoxicating your spirit, or your spirit knows that it can't really help you until you learn the lessons. It got a lot of, you know what I mean? You can abuse your spirit too. You can trick your spirit too. And it comes in form of not holding yourself to your word. Right? So yeah, that's where it comes. So I will choose a card for, not choose. Okay. The King of Swords. And this is another air card. So, not look at it yet. I'll draw another card. The Ace of Cups. So we are finished with this because it is water, and that completes this run. So let's look at, I already looked at the Fool. Let's look at the King of Swords and the Ace of Cups. Right? King of Swords. Whatsoever arises out of the idea of judgment and all its connections, power, command, authority, militant, intelligence, law offices of the crown, and so forth. So, you know how you want to be appreciated, and it's just rightfully so that you should be, because you've been working on yourself for so long, and it doesn't seem like the things have been benefiting you, but God appreciates you, because are you in the ditch yet? No, you're listening to this video. And tomorrow you're going to be doing something else. And the next day you'll find something else to do. Why? Because you are a limitless being, and you have God at your disposal. Hey God, at any time, can you just bless me with the thing that will help me out right now? It will be an idea. It will be a coincidence. But you will be helped regardless. Yes, you can bring yourself into worse situations, but don't think that there isn't a path lined up for you, even though it's very dark. That, I think you understood what I meant. Yeah, so that's the King of Swords. Ace of Cups. True heart. Wow. Okay. Remember how I was talking about, that's co-creation. True movement with God, that's co-creation. You're doing things with God. You're not afraid to let God take the wheel. You're not afraid anymore. Because why? Because it's you and God. The only person, the only entity, the only emotion, the only feeling is God behind you. It's like, you know what? If it's really going to be me against the world, it's going to be me and God against the world, because I'm not doing this alone. And God is like, why would I let you do this alone? And thank you for acknowledging my presence, you know. Yeah, so true heart, joy, contentment, abode, nourishment, abundance, fertility, the holy table, felicity, right? Spiritual contentment. It's like your spirit wants to know that you're okay. And it's okay for the abundance to come through, and you won't hurt yourself with it. It won't bring you farther into the darkness, because the spirit is in the dark. This is why you have to go through the darkness to get to a better understanding of yourself and your own spirit. You have to go through the darkness. Dark night of the soul. Yeah. that is complete with the spirit and the mind. With the Page of the Swords, let's see what it says. Authority, overseeing, secret service, vigilance, spying, examination, and the qualities thereto belonging. So this is like being a double agent for yourself, and that is the term that you're going to get familiar with coming out of my mouth. Being a double agent for yourself is playing the role great. It's like nobody would know that you are actually doing something in secret. They wouldn't be able to tell unless you told them. Your best friends might not even know. The only people who know are the ones that are going to boost you to actually complete it, because they already know who God is, and you can tell. It's comfortable to be around them. So it might be something with your friends. Relationships go both hand in hand with your friendships too. So they can be business relationships, business friendships. A business friendship can be like, I don't know why, like, groceries are coming to my mind right now. That's a good friendship. You have a good friendship with groceries, and you know how to cook, you save money. That's just one thing that's popping out of my mind right now. Maybe because I'm hungry, but it's okay. I think you understand where I was going with that, but we're going to move on to the next one, which is the body. Body is defined by the 8 of Cups. As I said before, all of this pain is going somewhere, and you're storing it for something that you're planning. So there are lessons that you're learning all at one time that's making sense to you, and it's causing you to give you like quiet moments. No cell phone, no this. Maybe you need to put your cell phone off. Turn your cell phone off. That was divine right there, because I could have sworn that was for me. It said, turn your cell phone off. And I looked at me. Yeah. As soon as I said cell phone, I made sure that my battery life was good, because I ain't got no time to be... No phone's dying again. Oh, man. Yeah. So, making sure you're plugged in. Making sure you're listening to God. Making sure you're heeding God's word. Making sure you're listening to your intuition. That's what it is. So you are listening to your intuition to save these lessons for something, because it's going to build up to something great. Now, what is that about what I just said that I needed to do? So, the 8 of Cups. So, this is honoring the mental process. It's an honor. Oh, okay. That's okay. This is about, like I said, honoring the mental process, but realizing the things that you went through was for a reason, because you noticed that if you didn't go through that thing, you wouldn't have learned something that's so easy for you, so natural to you, because you had to, there you go. God put you in a corner where the only things you can do was the things that was natural to you. So you had to learn pieces of yourself forcefully, but through God's, not tutelage, what's the other word? Guidance, but yeah, okay. And through doing that, you've been learning the lessons, and you're on a journey now. Like, okay, now that I'm on to these, now that I'm on to them, what am I gonna do? Went on the journey. And the funny thing is that this guy looked like he was walking, and he ended up in the cave, right? So we're gonna go back to that. But this space right here should be Earth, and what we're gonna do is draw for Earth until we get Earth. Let's see how that works. Maybe I should shuffle one more time. So, as I get new decks, or if there is a subscriber that would love to see me with a deck that they think that I can resonate to, resonate with. I like alchemy, I like anime, I like a lot of things, I like science. But whatever you're called to tell me, like, oh, this deck that I seen on Amazon, you know, you can point it out. Or send me an email, we can find a way to get it to me. Should that be the way you want to go about it? But until then, again, I would like you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Share the video with your favorite reader, because I'm after them, right? If they see this, if they do this, imagine how much you will resonate with it, because you follow them for a reason. You follow them for the love they give you. Now, all I want to do is to just make it really fun. Yes, all of your pain, really fun, and turn it into data. Yep. Can you say Matrix? But, yeah. Alright. Let's get to this earth. Talk about bombs. Dropping bombs on people. Oh. Nope. That was it. The Three of Wands. Now all of the threes are out. Now all of the threes are out. What's the last three? The Empress is the last three. The Empress is here. And the three. Okay. Magic. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about magic real quick. I have believed in magic since I knew about it. And nothing can ever tell me that it did not exist, even though I could never prove it. But now, getting into the spiritual sciences, I know it's real. Just can't see it, right? But I can see it. I can see the effects of it. So I know it's there. It's the same for God. So it's just like, I know God is there. Watch when I find him. I would never find God, but I would feel him. And I'm good with that, right? Look at the throat chakra. Some don't want me to say something. That helps somebody, and I'm glad. And they won't stop me from speaking. I'm going to have other videos. Watch my next video on relationships. It's going movement, love. That's what it's going to do, right? The Three of Wands. The Three of Wands. Oh, no. Let me fix it. Let me finish it until it's Earth. And I'm not even going to go into it. It has to be Earth before I finish. Okay. The Five of Pentacles. So, I already explained the Eight. Let me show you. I already explained the Eight of Cups. Learning your lesson, and now you're going on that journey. Then we got to the Three of Wands, right? And then we ended off this run with the Five of Pentacles. So let's look at that three. So now we can do it. It's legal now. They are, for once, almost on the surface. Country life, repose, concord, harmony, prosperity, peace, and the perfected work of these. So, I see peace and almost through the book. So, I was just like, there's a lot of water here, and you need to burn it away, right? But that's not really burning it away. That's using your soul to create something with the pain. Using the pain to create something new, something beautiful, right? So, you took 3 counts of this water and eliminated it. So you got 4 left. But you have 5 pentacles here to soak up 4 of those waters. Let's just speak elementally real quick. To soak up 4 of those waters. Now leaving you with something manageable to use. Just one thing at a time. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy, right? Trial, finish, abundance. Trial, finish, abundance. It's going to be like clockwork in your life. It's crazy. That's what I'm getting right now. Clockwork. But why is it so painful? It's been painful. It's going to be a struggle to get back to your feet, back on your feet, spiritually. Spiritually. Because, like I said, time doesn't exist. Time is money. Does money exist? No, it's an idea that we believe. The only thing that exists in the economy is the movement and the currency, right? Flow of money, flow of movement. But this is what I wanted to say about movement really quickly. In the creation story that is going around, everybody's starting to understand the one became two, right? The one became two, is split. Don't you think those two want to be back together? Now that force right there of wanting to be back together is attraction. They are attracted to each other through, let's just call them lenses of perception, perspective, or something like that. Through dimensions. Sorry, there you go. Yeah, I forgot why I even said that. But let's go. Let's keep going. I forgot why I said that. I guess I wasn't supposed to go there. It's for the act. You have the Five of Pentacles. The reason why it was painful and why it looked so painful, because you had to put your heart into it. This is infused with your pain, but the last one is going to get you to the place that you need to go. This one last pinnacle. And I guarantee, this is that last pinnacle that's showing itself. The Wheel of Fortune. So after you went through, soaked up all of the pain, learned all of the lessons, there was one pinnacle left, and that happened to be your fortune. That's piece of candy. I know somebody busting down some candy right now. I've been saying, ooh, piece of candy. Yeah. If you're still here, I love you too. Facts. So let's see what else is here in this message. So yeah. After the body, you have the parts of your home. Everything that I explained so far, it's outside of you and affects you, but still mainly outside of you. When it comes into these spaces here, these four spaces here, has to do with the energies you directly manipulate, right? So when it comes up to your air, it is represented by the Justice card. Now the Justice is an air card, and that's perfect. That means we don't have any more focus on this area. When it comes up to your polarity, let me explain polarity real quickly. Polarity is your ability to condense your life into something you can see, like on a piece of paper. Imagine you can put your life on a piece of paper. Wouldn't it be easier to manage, right? That is the power of polarity. Seeing things from a broad perspective, something that seems so scary, bringing it down to a point where you could just see it and it's like, oh, it's not so scary. You know, things that are smaller are not so scary, right? That's what polarity does. And then eventually it becomes nothing for you to worry about, right? Into the infinite of nothing for you to worry about. That's polarity. But when it comes up to your justice, let's see what it says. Justice in what? The law behind this space is polarity. The sense is taste. Psychological function is love. The right is to love. Challenge is grief. So this is, I wish I could have had this love. That pain. I wish I would have had this movement around me. I wish God would have moved in my life. I wish I knew what to do to make a move so this thing couldn't happen. That's the grief, right? The objective is bliss. What's comfortable to you? What brings you joy? What brings you life? Right? That's the bliss. So, let's go to here, the justice. And it's the social identity, and of course it's the heart chakra. But justice, equity, rightness, probity, executive, triumph of the deserving side in law. So law has to do with karma for me right now. This divine law, things that God has seen that people may not have been holding up their end of the bargain. And it's okay, because you don't have to be the person behind them saying, no, you did this, no, you did this, no, you did this, no, you did this. If you let that energy go, if you let it go, all it's going to do is tell God that you are now ready to desire and use that lesson for something else. When you let it go. When you let it go, it goes to desire. That's just what it is. You let it go. You let the energy go. Right? I hope this is making sense. This board is very special. Zin-Finity is unlimited. And it's going to have many more things, many more videos in the future. So, if you like this content, you know what to do. And thank you for it. I appreciate you. Alright, moving on from Justice card. You have the King of Wands in the fire. Still nothing to do here. And this has to do with your rhythm, the law of rhythm. Now, explaining rhythm, I mentioned it to you. Thoughts. Thoughts turn into words, that turn into actions, that turn into habits, that turn into a part of your character, and then you could just forget it. Then you could just forget it, right? That's God's domain. Right? Yeah. So, your rhythm. This person is in control, in power. And why wouldn't he be? You've always been in control. You've been in control of your mind the whole time. But it never seemed like it. It seemed like you were just being hurt and hurt and hurt and hurt. God has something for you to do and do and do and do. God wants you to understand love in a certain way, to express it in that way. And the only way for you to express it is to go through it and call on it. Like, you have to be in the place where you need that amount of love to understand what God could do for you and never forget it. Like 9/11, never forget. Funny thing about 9/11. Let's do it. Fuck it, I wasn't gonna do it. The Hermit and the Justice card. In between the heart. Nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing else about it. It's just funny how that's 9/11. Right? And it blocked the beauty. Blocked the pleasure. We were in jail after that. But in the mind anyway, we thought it was about to go to war. Maybe that's what I was about to think about right now. Why am I thinking about war? What's next? There's a war, not with yourself. You are not at war with yourself anymore. This is a war with everything else that can come affect you. So let's see what the King of Wands has to say with your rhythms, your thoughts. Yeah, I explained it. Dark mid. Remember I said that dark stuff? The color is on the side of this board. So it's leaning towards this side. Why? It's leaning towards your desire and your karma. Why? Because you have built up some good karma. You have some good energy coming towards you. You've been taking this BS for a long time. Don't you think it's time to cash out? He can sit his power. He's not worried. You're not worried because you know you've been good and God got your back. You've realized this, right? And you believe it. It's nothing else. Once you believe it, the only thing that you'll be reduced to is hope. And you know how strong hope is. And that, what's that dream? Dream. Oh man, what is the name of that show? The Endless? No. The Sandman. But the Endless was a place, right? I'm not gonna even talk about it. I hope you've seen it. But the power of hope is like just on the love. It's one of those eternal energies that's gonna be like, you know what, I got you. God is gonna be like, you know what, I got you. You hope, I got you. At the end of the day, you felt like your back is against the wall and there's nothing to do. All you can do is hope. God got you. So your back is against the wall, God, I don't know what to do. You hope. Then he got you. But love on the other side, you know what to act. Oh, love is on the other side of hope. So, if that helps you, movement is on the other side of hope. Money is on the other side of hope. Time. More time. Time to even yourself out is on the other side of hope. But you need belief. And that comes through your past experiences. What do you remember happening? Data. The data serves and speaks. My ear is itching. We're gonna have to wrap this up soon, so let me get going. Dark man, friendly, countryman, generally married, honest and conscientious. See, the married part is the married between the divine feminine and divine masculine. Because it doesn't have to be specifically people, right? You live this life by yourself. And all of these points on this board is a reflection of parts of you. To the unlimited. There's nothing else you can think of past this. I've said this before. So, when this says generally married, you can generally do most things with what you learn. For the most part, God can trust you to handle it yourself. But there's certain things you can't do that you need to sit down and wait for. And this guy is looking at his fortune. Just looking at it. Just sitting there looking at it. Just looking at it. Right? So, moving on to the water, which is the sacral chakra, right? Which is also the law of cause and effect, the sense to see. Now, seeing emotionally, right? The psychological function of movement and connection, right? That's psychological. So, God working in your life through your emotional vision, right? So, the right to feel or to want, the challenge of guilt, objective is naturally innocence, what's comfortable, identity is emotional, and chakra is sacral, right? So, the hermit, what is making you guilty and having you in this place where you feel like you need to go deep within yourself to find out something in order to get past it? Like, this is taking control out of me, and there's nothing else for me to do besides sit and think about how this has so much power over me. It could be something so small. You know how the little things affect you so much. Sometimes it's the little things that really get you. Not even the big things. The big things you can handle, right? It's the little things. Little things that constantly come from nowhere. Like roaches or something. I don't know. Ants. Ants at a picnic. That's the best way to describe it. The ants don't necessarily hate you. They don't hate you. They smell like good food. And they gonna be there for that food. And there's nothing, not even their life, is gonna stop them from getting that food. So, yeah. This is why you have to go deep within yourself to find out, how can I protect this picnic? I'm out here, and it's just out in the open. What am I supposed to do, God? How am I supposed to work and operate and maneuver? Well, there are ways, and we're going to talk about it. Prudence, circumspection, and also and especially treason, dissimulation, roguery, and corruption, right? So, these ants came to your picnic, your life, your abundance, what you got set up for yourself, or you and yours, these ants. Now, ants are black, right? Well, let me not even say that. There's mad different species of everything. But for the most part, I see ants as black, right? These little black ants come up on this white space. This space is your pure space. This sheet you got on the floor is green on the floor around it. The leaves, the grass, and all that other stuff. They're not eating that stuff. They concentrated on what you got. And they came from far, right? Rogueries, people stealing from you from all different ways, spiritually or emotionally or physically, you know. Corruption. Now the corruption part of it is where it's infecting who you are. This right here is earth, and it's blocking you from desiring, because this is, okay, I hope you understand that. If this is a valve, if this is a waterfall going from here to here, it's blocked by you having to go through this process of finding what grounds you, finding that gem. And as we get through this reading, you'll understand where that gem comes from. So this has to be changed. And what is it going to change to? The hermit needs to be... Okay, so let me explain something. Earth and water support each other. So technically, I don't have to do anything, because this is good energy to have right now. So let me do that. The hermit is a good energy to have. It does allow you to grow because it's being supported by water. So let's just say if there was an overflow of emotion, sometimes you need a little bit of earth to even out that pressure to something that is manageable. I was just saying manageable for some reason. I forgot why. So this is emotional pressure relieved, alleviated by you going within and finding out the real problems. What really triggers you? What is the real root of the issue, right? It's not easy to do because you got so many ants to deal with, so many problems coming from nowhere, trying to get to your food. All you want to do is sit down and have a good sandwich, play some music. Goddamn ants. And they everywhere. There's millions of them. For some reason, I'm looking at judgment. I'm going to leave that there, and I'm going to go towards the root chakra, which is earth. When it involves the hermit, it's something that you're guilty about. The emotions, the pressure has to do with the guilt, because you don't want to go through that again and feel guilty again. That would just end you in your mind. But that's in your mind because God decides when you finish. Not your mind. Your mind knows how to waste a lot of time. What you want to do at that time. So going back to the earth, this is the last card on this run, and this is the natural law on the earth portion. It has to do with the sense to hear. So you know, if you hear danger, you have 2 ears for a reason, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. You're studying more, you see. Right? I hope this is making sense. Speaking is supposed to happen less than hearing. Listening and observing. So, yeah. On the earth, you have the psychological function of survival and self-preservation. So we understand what that means. At the end of the day, we want to live and eat good, right? So the right is to have, the challenge is fear, and the objective is courage and curiosity. The opposite of fear is courage and curiosity. I had to look that up because I really didn't know. Like maybe that is something so simple as knowing the actual defined definition of the opposite of fear. Something that we're programmed to have. Just knowing it. Courage and curiosity. Comfortability, right? Something that makes you comfortable. So, God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. So, power, right? Love. He gave us, oh man, I hope you understand it, this power. More money, more power. Money doesn't exist. So what do you need to get that power? This is for you to spark that imagination. I can only go so far with my intuition right now. And I hope this is resonating. So, let's keep going. I can't even get this last one out. 6 of Swords. Journey by water, route or way, envoy, commissionary, or expedient. So this is wrong to be in this area because this is the mental thing. And it's expedient. So you're quickly doing something to change what's around you. Is it going the right way? Most likely because God got your back, you know. But let's draw this last set of cards, or 1, 2, even this energy out. This is in opposition. This is a whole bunch of opposition. And you getting these out of here. Long journey to get this away from here. Oh. Page of Cups. Now, funny how this is earth, this is water, but this is actually water, and this is actually earth. So they're reversed and balanced in a way which I am accepting. See, this is why I had to leave it. Because there's a balance in going in to find out something. And then what are you coming out with? The Page of Cups, right? So what does this mean? The Page of Swords and the Page of Cups. So it's amateurish, but it's so effective. And it's designed to burn things out of your life quickly. But what emotional things are going to be handled? Let's see. A fair young man, right? So it's fair, masculine energy. One impelled to render service with whom the querent, me or you, the one who's being read for, will be connected. So, this is divine intervention. The reason why I say that is because God's mental energy is almost like him picking you up and moving you to a different spot and putting you down. And you clearly saw that happen. Your eye hovered just now. That's that divine intervention feeling. Like, that was definitely God, right? He's about to show you his face and just say, don't ever forget it. How could you? That was freaking magic. It might as well have been magic. Right? Or God. See, the devil wanted to put magic in front of that, but we know what we're talking about. The rest of it is a studious youth, news, message, application, reflection. Reflecting on these things that you find gives you your energy back. Like I said, these things are holding you back. They are thoughts of your past that you are dredging up, giving energy to. That's just what it is. You're giving energy to dead information that is in your mind, that you're reactivating with your spirit out of your choice, right? And then you're reliving this moment. I keep saying this moment, these moments, whatever, whichever way it happens, resonates with you. You're reliving the moment because you're a limitless being, and you can do that. With great power comes great responsibility. You are a limitless being, and you must be responsible for the body that your soul occupies. So respect it, and God will respect you. So that's what I'm getting out of that. And maybe that was the closing message with that part. So what I would like to do is clear the board really quickly. and show you the next part. I'm gonna shuffle this into it so it's not doubling or nothing like that. And what we're gonna get to is the mechanical energy. Now that we know what the deal is, now that we know what is going on in your life right now, what can you physically do? Now, here is where I have to give a disclaimer. I'm not you. I am me, and I can only give the best advice that I can download. You feel me? So you have to use your intuition to see what you need to do for yourself. I am not there. I'm also a person who wishes to spread love. You know what I mean? This is what I'm choosing. This is the most comfortable thing that I can do, to spread love. And this is what I chose to do. This is what I thought of when I got that card. But let's keep going. So this is called the star stream. But what is mechanical energy in general? Mechanical energy is the energy of an object due to its motion or position, or the sum of an object's kinetic or potential energy. You being the object. Understand that, right? You doing all the stuff, or your soul, whichever way you want to see it. But I call it the star stream. And what does it mean? Now, before I get there, I have to show you your gift. This is the portion where I tell you about your ego, your id, and your superconscious. So let's get this out really quickly. Guess not. Let me just show them then. So the moon came out, then the 4 of wands, and then the 5 of swords came out. So water, fire, air, no earth. So what I'm actually doing is going over the earth, water, fire, air, and ether placements. Ether being the seat of aspiration and my seat to you. So you came here for a reason. You're watching this video for a reason. And potentially I can give you a clue. Something that will help you move in your life. You know, that movement word. Love yourself. Right? Using God's help. Hope this is making sense. So this is my card. This is my seat. And you can understand now what I was doing. There's too much explanation to go into. But we'll see. Alright, so the King of Swords stayed while everything else dropped. So I'll leave that there. This has to do with your experimentation. Experimentation with what? Call it surviving. But more than surviving, thriving, right? And that is being represented. That is being represented by the energy of the King of Swords. And I'm gonna just wait for the next card right now. According to what you've been doing, you've been overthinking, and it's been deteriorating your life. That's what this card is telling me right now. And you are really good at it, but if you had the right focus, it would only help out. Oh no. The Tower. Now, the Tower card is representative of your expression. So after you experiment, right, which is a mental process gone wrong, it seems so far, but I'll let you know what it meant, what that means soon. What you have been doing with your emotions, having tower moments. Remember, the Hermit was here before, so of course you're gonna have a tower moment. You went in and you got rid of some stuff. You cleared the dungeon of your mind. You cleared your thoughts. You've put the information where they needed to be so it didn't affect you anymore. You created a boundary, right? You learned the lessons. So of course it's going to be a tower moment. And that's good. That's a good sign, because you've overthought enough to an epiphany. It's like you needed to sit there to think about that for that long in order to come up with this idea. And this idea is going to spark, I don't know, I heard new revelations. Well, if this is your house of you and these people got to go, look at they jumping out. They can't be there. Alright. Fire is in the place of integration, or fire is the 8 of Pentacles. That's a lot of ideas, and one of them is gonna work. You got one of them on the floor, one of them over here. You just got ideas all over the place. And last but not least, not last, but in this run is the Knight of Pentacles for transcendence. Now, it's a good sign that you went from 8 Pentacles to 1, because there's a lot less to think about, because focus is what we need, right? You have so many ideas, and focus is what you needed. But having ideas allows you to be able to use more things around you. So when it comes to your rhythm, it's not a problem for you. Yeah, so here we go with the explanation on these 4 parts: experimentation, expression, integration, and transcendence, right? Now it comes up to your superconscious, your id and your ego. So representing your superconscious, I showed you this before, the moon. Now, think of this as your gift. Your gift has to do with revealing the secrets of things, the dark side of things, or the light side of things, seeing it, understanding it at a fundamental level in order to create something practical. That's your gift. But that's all on face value right now. But this is your superconscious also. Your superconscious always leads you to energies like this. Energies of fixing things naturally. That's your gift. So you naturally took all the pain, but you naturally cleared it out with your gift of going through it and saying, you know what, this wasn't right, and I learned this from it, and it's okay. That seems like it's your gift, getting over something. So if it's a hump in your life that you were trying to get over, that's your gift. And God sent this big hump in front of you for a reason. So let's look up the id. The id has to do with the zodiac, and it's very tagged to whatever sign you are. So I'm a Cancer sign, and I'm a water sign. So I would want it to be water, but you will understand that it would need to be air or water in order to be good for this side. In regards to the crown, you would want it to be fire or an air. For the superconscious, energy of the superconscious, you want it to be fire, air, because that's what comes out of the ether. I don't know how to explain that any better than that right now, but let's continue. And as far as the ego, which controls the will, by the way, your spirit controls the desire, the ego controls the will. In regards to will, it has to do with the ego, but let's see the id really quickly. Alright, so bring up this next part. Perfect. So, let's look at it. So, it seems like the way you experiment with the world is through your connections, because people have abilities and gifts, and you can learn from them. Who around you does something so cool that you wish you can do, because if you can do it, it would make you feel comfortable about your current situation. So that's the divine clue there. So moving on from there to your expression is the Tower. Now the Tower is misery, distress, indigence, adversity, calamity, disgrace, deception, ruin. It is a card in particular of unforeseen catastrophe. Now, upright, it has to do with your physical world. Reverse, it will have to do with your mental world. So, because the mental is the foundation, the physical is what holds, it's just everything above. So, so your physical life, the people around you have been cleared. Not that it had to be completely destroyed, but when you got out there with that Page of Swords, it was just like, you know what, it might as well be gone anyway, because it wasn't doing you no good, and that sword couldn't fit anyway, and you have too much power to stay where you are. Yeah. So this Tower, when it comes to your expression, it's like not being afraid to tell your truth, and it's getting rid of a lot in your life. So, when it comes up to integration, it's Pentacles over here, and that's a good sign. Oh. 8 of Pentacles. Work, employment, commission, craftsmanship, skill and craft, and business. There, whatever you find to do from what you learn from the people around you, your rhythm with it has to be on point. Why? Because the people around you are on point with what they want to steal from you, and what they want to take from you. They do not, they will not miss a chance. So you can't either. Not you can't, God got your back, but if God didn't have to have your back, He can be right with you, growing and helping you to grow. So if He didn't have to protect you, all the energy goes to your growth. Right? So moving on to transcendence. Transcendence is basically like leveling up. How do you level up? Right? How do you upgrade what you're doing right now to make it work better for you? So the Knight of Pentacles, as I said before, is too many ideas, and he's fast with one idea now. So what does it mean? Utility, serviceableness, interest, rectitude, and responsibility. So responsibility is pointing out to what I said before about being able to show love comfortably to any person, regardless of how you feel, because it won't affect you anyway, because you do this freely. That comfortability, that responsibility that you hold with God, the reason you came here, is coming out right now. So the better you get at showing that love, the more abilities you will get. It's almost like, see, lost my train of thought, but it's okay. You have a responsibility, but it's almost like a destiny. Remember that destiny that I was talking about in your light? Ooh, piece of candy. It's gonna be like running into things that you can help, running into things that you can add to your life. It's not just items, it's anything that God lines up for you. But what if He lined up somebody in front of you that needed help? What would you do? Walk away, or miss the opportunity for God to pay you for doing that deed? It's money out here, and spiritual money counts too, because it's gonna overflow and go through the dimension into your life. That's just what it does. It overflows in the spiritual, and then it comes out in the physical. So if you need money, bless people spiritually. You are an infinite being, abundant. You can do this all day. You can walk outside and show somebody some love. Hey, how you doing? Have a great day. Person probably didn't hear that all day. Nobody asked them anything all day, and you did it. Somebody cares about me, that person would think. And that person would be able to live another day. That person could have been doing something bad, about to do something bad. Look what you just did. You just saved somebody. You didn't even know it. Oh, hi. The little things that you do, you have no clue how it helps. So don't be afraid to show the love. It'll just flow out of you. And that means you're just blessing more people. And all these ancestors and people like that looking at you. Pay this guy. Pay her. Right? Pay them. She deserves it. He deserves it. So, with all that said, no further ado, this is the end of the reading. And I hope you got something out of it. You see, I'm off. So, looking at your gift is the moon. As I said before, is finding things and learning what you can do with it. Hidden enemies, danger, calumny, darkness, terror, deception, occult forces, or error. So, your gift is to see the negativity that's coming towards you. So, like I just said, if God doesn't have to have your back all the time, if you can handle certain things, He can work on what you wanted to do when you came here in the first place. He can help you get there, right? So your gift is to protect yourself emotionally. And the only reason that it was able to be messed with is because of love. That the love that you know. Letting somebody in, right? When you let somebody in, they shift this energy to a certain extent for them or against them. You know how it works. If you are the one being toxic, you can understand what that means. But co-creation runs good with people too. You can work with somebody and with God at the same time, both of y'all. That's tri-creation, whatever, right? It's just better love, better movement. This is why God honors marriage. But what is it a marriage between? The divine feminine and the divine masculine in you. That's first. Because you are here by yourself. You go by yourself. Yeah. So, what is your spirit telling you? The message from the spirit. That's what I should say. So, the message from your spirit is design, attempt, wish, hope, confidence, also quarreling, a plan that may fail, annoyance. So, don't be afraid to fail, because I know it's annoying by now. It's highly annoying. Why do I want to fail again? If I see all the negative things that are coming towards me, if I'm so good, why is it getting past me? Because God is better. That's number one. And you have a job to do. That's number two. In order for you to do your job better, the way that you saw it before you came here being done. Because you have to understand, if God knows everything, what reason does He have to be here? If God can do everything, He's only one person. He's an omnipresent being. Is it two of them omnipresent beings? No, it's just him, her, it, whatever, right? So this thing cannot love itself harder than a person can love somebody else. It's true that way. So the divine masculine and divine feminine is the first one that decided to love each other. Then after that, the dimensions and all that other stuff came into play, and now we're here reenacting and living these energies before they came to a balance where we are now. I don't know why I need to say that, But yeah, let's go to the ego. King of the Wands, King of the Wands, and I'll be done, right? It's the last card, guys. I'm almost there. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was literally just saying something about marriage. These are the two parts of you, your divine feminine and divine masculine. And it seems like your ego is under control. Either that, or since you're running to the comfortable things, your ego doesn't have to go out of control so much, because you got your own back most of the time. So the ego can just be in the front. Like, I don't need to worry about protecting myself and making a fool out of myself and being toxic, because I know, as the ego, this is the ego talking, I know that you have trained yourself, and I don't need to worry about certain things. Certain things I'm going to be toxic for because we haven't learned those lessons yet. But until then, do it again, but bot better. Score! Yeah. That's it. I'm done. And yeah. So, I hope this reading helped you. I realize what my readings are. They're not necessarily readings. They're sessions in perspective of whatever the cards are playing. Because these cards, I call them people. So the moon is a person. There's somebody named the moon. There's somebody named the Knight of Pentacles. Right? And they play roles in these places. And when they are in the wrong place, it tells a different story. It plays a different scene. It shows a different play. And I'm just going over this and over this and over this and over this. There's 1.4 septillion. 1.4 septillion combinations of cards with one deck. And I'm looking to get plenty, like y'all have. You know. So, essentially, I would never be saying the same thing. There will always be a different story. Yeah, the cards have values of their own, but they never had positions like this. They never had costumes. They never had anything to be other than the cards. And now they do. With Zin-Finity, it's from me to you, KyFy. I'm glad you could be here. Until next time, peace.